Oh, hey everyone. Thank you for coming. Coach Paul, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
How you doing, guys?
Yeah, we're doing great. Everyone's good. Give us thumbs up if you can hear us and you can see us. Uh, awesome. Well, we appreciate your time on Sunday. All of you are our first crew that have gone through or just got the Foundations Level 1 University course. So welcome. We're going to keep it really tight because we know people have training to do, weekend stuff to prepare, your meals to get ready, everything you got to do. So Paul, I'll keep it tight and throw it off to you. How did the university course get started? What was kind of the idea that you saw when you came over here and started helping USAT and really turning this ship around? And we already got one gold medal at the last Olympics, which is amazing, right? No one thought that was going to happen. What was the idea of going, hey, all these people here, it would be beneficial for them to start learning this stuff too?
Fundamentally, it was about sharing the knowledge that we have to people that can't always see what we do at the elite level in the resident program or seminars. Myself and Gareth used to do sort of small tutorials, and Steve thought it'd be a good idea to make it a little bit more official and a little bit more professional, and share it with USA Taekwondo members and anyone else who wanted to see the stuff that we do.
Awesome. Yeah.
And that's pretty much how it started off.
Yeah, pretty organic. I love it. Now we've got, I think, over 100 people are in on the level 1 course already. So that's really great. Who here, raise your hand if you've already logged in and at least seen some of the training for that. So everyone here has got, that's great. When I logged in first, Coach Paul had already been building out the stuff on here. I was really blown away by the level of quality and expertise you guys put into this. A lot of people just, handy cam and, hey, here's a kick, go ahead and do whatever. It really is a high level. Whatever, everyone agree that you're kind of blown away with the level of production and knowledge. Raise your hand if you're like, oh, okay, they're not messing around here, because that's what I thought. Also, so thank you again, Coach Paul. I see Mackenzie, we got people from Australia. Mackenzie's in here. Australia, we got James up in Minnesota. We got people everywhere, all around the world here right now. So if you do have questions while we do this, there's the chat. That'll be the easiest way to do it. Just type up a question in the chat. We'll try and manage that. Let's go to our next part.
I've seen some of Mackenzie's videos, by the way. She's better than me.
Yeah, I shared that with her, and
she can take over for level 3, I think.
Yeah, we're going to post her up here in a minute. So when people are starting off, everyone here is in level 1. There's going to be 5 levels to this, right? Starting off with the foundations material, all the way up to here's the training that Paul and Coach Gareth are doing at the Olympic level of here's the final tactics, the pieces. These are not, I don't want anyone, like, these are not remedial parts. Think about if you're building a big sports car, you need every piece is just as important, right? It's not just, oh, these are, now we get the tire. No, every piece of the chassis of the engine is absolutely important to support it. So the things you're learning now are going to be built up to that final level at the end, where you have the same knowledge that the academy athletes and that the Olympic champions you're producing are. So starting off at level 1, what would you say the goal of this, these learning modules are for everyone who's taken the course?
For me, it's getting everything that we do in a structured way from the beginning to the end out there. So everything from level 1 to 5 is something we're doing in the training. Whether it's focusing on the kick and what actually to look out for in the kick, and most of the stuff we do the kicks with, it's relevant and modern kicks that are being used or score on the system, not just random stuff. And then the coaching points of it. And then there's, as it gets a little bit more complicated, then we go a little bit more into the deeper tactics of sparring situations that we do. And then amongst that, there's training methods that we do, like functional warm-ups, which I'm not sure have been on there yet. I think there might be some on the level 2.
Right.
And yeah, the different kind of methods that we do within the training. So like, as an example, we've done, I think level 2, there's a cut kick, But in level 3 and 4, there's exercises based around the cut. So we take it up a level, like different exercises we do to adapt and put around the cut kick. So that we use those in our training methods. So when we're planning, I'll write a session, and it might be like we warm up, we do this, and then it'll be like we're doing a cut exercise today, like four 1-minute rounds, and the intention and the tactics around the cut are going to be this. And we've got different ones on different levels. So it's basically a mind map of what they do at the elite level, really, in the resident program.
Yeah, and that's what I think is so great about this. That has anyone here ever gotten courses or gone to a seminar where you get a whole bunch of knowledge and then they just go like, here, we hope you can figure it out on your own before? Is that just me, or has anyone else been to stuff like that in the past? I go to them all the time where it's good info, but the info, I mean, everyone here has Google. The info's out there in the world. What the value is having a systematic method of progression that you can do now, right? Like, you don't just throw kids, here's some calculus, here's some math, here's a like, maybe they'll get in, someone's going to get into Harvard, but that's not a pipeline. And so what I think is really great about this is seeing that method, that the foundations part are absolutely necessary, what you're learning to get these next level of drills. So that way you're not trying to solve technique and implementation at the same time, right? You can just focus here. And then once you've got implementation, the next level will be about the strategy around that tool and actually making it right, work in a high level, high pressure situation. So the things you guys are learning now, I hope you're digging your teeth into it, because the payoff is going to be really, really big there for everyone. The level 1's are starting by level 5, and I know we're finishing level 2 right now. For level 5, let's paint big picture. If people love this, you guys keep staying in it. What at the end of level 5, what should they be able to do on a big macro kind of focus here?
What's involved with level 5?
Yeah. Like what should they be able to do? Like what will be the transformation they go? And I don't need specific of the.
I mean, it'll be. I mean, I guess by level 5, you'll know pretty much everything that we're doing at the resident program, in terms of. I mean, there's like what leg control exercises we do, what pressure exercises we do, which are starting to get a little bit more complex within the training. It could be like, focusing on things like how we do winning and losing scenarios, which will benefit the player when they're in the fight and they're losing by 3 points, and what the best practice is to try and get it back. Things like that, which are fundamental to elite level Taekwondo.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that's why these parts are so important now that everyone's going through to be able to get that. I got a quick question here. I'll answer. Just some people just got the front leg course that are here. I know we did that, and that's great. We're talking about there's a whole level of curriculum just for the first level. So I put the link up there. If you don't have that, I would urge you to get that bundle right now for the foundation, because it's going to be a whole bunch of different courses. I'll show them here in a second. Actually, why don't I do that right now? I'll share my screen.
I think most of I think level 1 and level 2 covers more of the kicks, like the techniques with other stuff in, before we start progressing into the training methods, because we want you to obviously understand the coaching points of the kicks before you go into the tactics, so you know exactly what you're doing with the kick.
That's exactly right. And everyone here who's a coach or part of a martial arts school, you get a talented student, you still got to teach them how to make a fist and do the basic stuff, right? Otherwise, we skip steps and then we end up biting us in the end. So I think that's the right approach there. I'm going to show that screen for level 1, what the foundations part is here. Let's see if I can get into all the different videos. It's a 12-week course. If you're not familiar, you're going to have, here's the curriculum here. So I gave, or everyone away is we gave away just for Anna, for the front leg technique. It's a lot of material just for this front leg. You see how much they pumped in to teaching you this, right? For the modern sport, if you don't have a good front leg right now, Paul, can you really be competitive in,
I mean, one of the fundamentals today in the game is the lead leg, isn't it? Not just turning kick, but being able to use your lead leg and then break patterns off it. So yeah, it's 100%. It's a lot of the stuff that we're doing is fundamental to winning games. We're not spending loads of time doing techniques and tactics that aren't a little bit old school or irrelevant anymore.
Of course, someone going back leg double off the line, that's not really going to be a core part of what the.
No,
what,
I mean, it's touched on because there were ways to do it when your timing's right, or if you're doing it off a cancel or something like that. But it's not as relevant anymore because people just pick the lead leg up now, and so so opening yourself up in the modern game, is detrimental to you as a player. People can't spin as much anymore. They can't open up as much anymore because people just stand there, cover themselves, and kick with the lead leg. So it's difficult to do that now. You've got to know when to do it. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you've got to know when to do it.
Right, and it'd be predicated on, you said off a cancel, so they'd need to have that front leg pattern down even to open up those opportunities, right? So,
yeah, of course, yeah.
So that's why we're starting. That's why we gave that one away. We wanted everyone to see that. But you see how now we're building up over these 12 weeks. So it's 12 weeks. Ideally, you have unlimited time to finish it, but there is going to be a pattern that hopefully if you do a little bit every week, just like school, just like a quarter system there, you're going to be able to progress through. So if you haven't got that part, now I'd urge you to get that Foundations Bundle course ASAP. Submitting training and feedback. This is the next step. You start using it. Has anyone put in any videos or submissions yet for their curriculum? Has anyone been able to put anything in yet? Mackenzie's put some in. I know I saw yours. Ben's put some in. Kylie's put some in. Really impressed with all that. One of the things we're doing here, we'll talk about submissions. We've brought on 3 of kind of the top US athletes that are now young developing coaches. Does everyone here know Logan Garrick? Everyone know Logan? Logan, yeah, right.
Hey guys.
There he is. U.S. national team. How many times? A bunch. A bunch. National team. Actually helped run our Olympic prep camp for 2016 with Stephen Lambden. Right. We ended up having this ragtag camp we put together.
Right.
One of the coaches didn't show up for it, and we said, "Logan, you're the coach now." And that's literally what happened. And he, like 22 at the time, and just crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. So I said, we got to get you in. TJ Curry, if everyone knows TJ, and then Chase Graham. So 3 really talented coaches that are going to be helping on the feedback and video submissions. Their whole job is going to be, the stuff comes in, give you a thumbs up. Sometimes it might just need a thumbs up. Sometimes it might be something written. Sometimes it might be something back. So Logan, we're really grateful to have you on here for that. For Paul, when people are submitting, what type of stuff are you all looking for there in their submissions, like just on a general focus? Because some people
fundamentally just learning that they've understood whatever the lesson is around, that they've understood the learning and can kind of express what that is. You don't have to be amazing at a front leg or whatever the situation is, but you obviously need to understand it to be able to coach it. If you're a coach, or if you're a player, you can apply it yourself, but you don't have to be amazing. So we're not looking for like amazing techniques or anything like that. It's just learning from the lesson, and in the lesson there's usually fundamental coaching points which are relevant and like crucial to the success of whatever the training drill is. And usually most of the time, a lot of the videos that have been coming in and the written documentation has included the coaching points. So it's all been good so far, really good.
Yeah, that's great. And again, like you said, no one's being judged on the kick not being good enough, or your hip isn't right, you're never going to be able to. It's about, like you said, the intent. If you can understand what is happening, that is the focus, because then you can help your teammates, you can help coach people. And speaking of coaches, some coaches are here to really just learn it, and maybe, or just anyone may have an injury, may have a reason they don't want to go on camera for submitting that. For people that just want to say audit the course and they want to do the curriculum and learn it, is that something that's okay if they just go, hey, I learned it, that was good. Maybe they're not trying to sink their teeth into the same way maybe Mackenzie did, where she had videos of everything, and you'll get more feedback that way, right? The more you do, you'll get more feedback. But if someone just wants to audit the course and learn it and progress, is that something they're comfortable to do?
Yeah, at the end of the day, the coaches can use the library of information to help with the training methods in their schools. And I know everybody can learn from everybody. You know, I mean, if I saw some other people doing training methods that I thought were helpful to the national team, I'd take it. I'd borrow it. It's not everyone can learn off each other.
Yeah. What do they say? I forget the saying. Some people copy, but great artists steal. Right? You see that, and you make it your own. You go, I see that drill. How do I change that to fit here? And that's
exactly.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're just going to try and be in our own bubble. And I think the reason everyone's here is you're not trying to be in your bubble. You want to hit the easy button to skip forward to get progress.
Yeah, and that's why there's a lot of lessons or tutorials throughout the courses. I mean, there's probably over like 100 or something, but you know, if 20 of them can be relevant to the school owner, then you know it's done the job.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, those of you that are coaches, or if you're watching this later and you're a coach, or for whatever reason you're not able to submit a video, or maybe don't want to, and you want to audit the course and progress, that's totally fine. We want you to keep using it. You can go through all 5 levels that way. I always joke in gymnastics, no one ever made Bella Caroli do a backflip, right? But he sure as heck did train Nadia Comaneci, right? And the Olympic team. So, right, that idea that you gotta, you know, I mean, that said, I do love Paul's videos of him. Who likes Paul's videos of him doing crazy kicks? Yeah, exactly. I think we all still want those. So everyone but you still have to make those videos.
I'm getting a little bit old.
Yeah, no, doing pretty good. But among the submissions, I want to show you what a really good submission was. And that said, if you want to audit, that's fine. It's your experience through here. If you do want to dig in deeper, the reason we're bringing on Logan, Chase, and TJ is to give on more of that feedback. I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to spotlight Mackenzie, who really did a great job. And I'm going to, you know, it's always the worst to watch yourself, right? No one likes watching themselves. But so you can, but here's what hers looked like.
Lateral position in the middle distance. Now drive your back leg up into a narrow position. This. Rotate your back foot and your knee into a horizontal position, and then execute the kick. Once you execute the kick, you have to bring it back into a lateral position, back where you started.
Yeah, that is all. I mean, I could go on. It was great. And me messaged me that. I checked it right away. It's everyone who coaches knows how hard it is to talk about the drill while you're doing it. It's like this, right? You can't do it. As soon as I start saying it, I lift your foot up, I immediately get off balance. So Mackenzie, we're really impressed. You're actually our first student of the month. We didn't have a student of the month initiative, but when Paul sent me your video, I said, this is the first student of the month. So for October, let's give her a round of applause, our first student of the month. Very good. Mackenzie, I'm going to spotlight you real quick, just for 30 seconds. Here, go ahead and unmute. I mean, that was really great. What's something you've learned from going through the curriculum so far?
Something I've learned from going through the curriculum would definitely have been that when I've been training at my club, I haven't known all of the breakdowns of how the kick actually works. Like, we've been shown how to do it, we've been helped how to do it, but it hasn't been broken down in a way of, there's so many different ways that you can apply it. As I've always sort of figured that out myself, as in how you can apply the kick in different ways. Mm-hmm. But then again, it's also really helped because I've been able to work on my understanding of the kick and how I can best implement it.
And I love that. And you're 26 years old, correct?
I don't know, actually.
I'm kidding. You're 11.
I'm 11.
You're 11. That's a joke. I know. I have the worst. I only have dad jokes, and all my other jokes are bad. So we're real proud of you. And that's the idea, right, Paul? Thank you, Mackenzie, that we can go and get those little tidbits that enhance your training. It's not going to replace what you do, right? It's going to enhance, and you go, here's this other part that to the drill that we're doing that makes sense, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, most coaches will tell you that when if they used to fight or be an athlete, when you make that transition to a coach, you start understanding the game more because your brain's looking at things and analysing what's going on more. And most coaches say, if I had my brain now, when I used to fight, they'd be 10 times better as a player.
Yeah, very much. I'm the same way. I think people that enjoy online training in this part are maybe a little more cerebral already, a little more analytical of breaking things down, where there's nothing wrong with another approach of just going to go out there and but that's the idea. A couple questions real quick because we're getting close to the end of our things. David says, it seems the sections of the course are locked until successful submissions and prereqs. How do we as coaches do this? It's funny, me and Paul just were speaking about this. For that, we're going to make something where you just either hopefully can hit a button or at least submit just I'm here as a coach just to audit. And then you'll put that in and we'll approve, knowing you'll get access to the next one. But we still want to make sure that you're getting some sort of takeaway from it as a coach, right? That someone's not just hitting complete for 30 videos. With still it's you're learning your course, but something like that will be what you end up doing, David. Just you're going to say, I'm just coaching, just checking it out. We're good, awesome. Let's see. Wendell says, I signed up for this program as a coach and had surgery, so I could not submit a final video. How can I move on to complete the other segments? It's the same thing, Wendell. Just drop us a note in there in that submission part. And for those of you that are submitting and having trouble with the video upload, you may need to upload to YouTube and then insert that link in the document. Part of it's with file size. This only handles so much files, and especially now even on a mobile, if they're doing 4D or whatever I don't know what it is, how the great. Now, I'm not a tech guy, but if you're doing the videos really, really high definition, it may be too big of a file. So that's worked really well for that. Let's see. When we submit our videos, is it okay to simply demonstrate the techniques or verbally explain each step as McKenzie did? It's totally fine to just do the technique and show it. That's good. Obviously, if you want more feedback, if you want to dive in, Logan's got a ton of knowledge. TJ's got a ton of knowledge. Chases. So if you're someone that you really need that part, they're going to be able to give you a fix really quick and a real concise answer to that. So there's nothing wrong with that. Hopefully you're understanding that this is your learning. There's no wrong way to use these courses as a coach. And someone who just wants feedback on that and wants to dive in a little deeper, Paul, all those areas are cool with you, yes? If they want to, yep, absolutely. These are great. Any other questions here before I go on to kind of what's next for you? So quick recap, you're starting at level 1 foundations, and type up the questions for me on the side. Starting at level 1 foundations, right? We're moving through, hopefully weekly. We can do that. If it's not, you're not kicked out of the program, but we want to keep you on board learning in a nice, concise manner to move on, because the goal is to get this stuff implemented to eventually get you to level 5. If you're a coach or someone, like you said, had a surgery, injury, or for whatever reason aren't going to do the videos, just type that out for us that you're auditing the course, and hopefully maybe a little learning that you've got, but you don't have to. But I'd love to know that you got some little nugget. I do that with all my remote clients. I do every week. It's what's something you learned, and I call it the reflection, revelation, and revolution. Meaning, you reflect on what you just went through. Here's the back leg video we did. Here's the revelation. I need to pivot my foot this way that Paul says. And then the revolution now is, here's how I'm going to implement this in the future, right? So you went from that learning and it progressed you and your game forward. So I think that's a great idea. Time for one more question here for us on this, and I'll go on to what's coming up next for everyone in our foundations course. Are we good? Awesome. So coming up here in October, we have to get the schedule down because the Academy members training isn't something we can change. I can't just say, hey, Anna, we need you Saturday night at 10 p.m. That's not really conducive for high level training, right? She'd probably do it because she's great, but I'm not going to ask that of her. So we want to do a live training with the Academy members where you'll basically follow along what Coach Gareth and the crew has done for the day. We've got to get that set. That part will be harder to, again, move from a time schedule. So it's a good opportunity. You don't have to fly across the world or the country. So, you'll hopefully be able to adjust your schedule too on that. And that'll be a really cool one. And then coming in November is going to be the wrap-up call. We want to do a reflection. You've been through the course. Who's going to probably have more questions once you've gone through all 12 weeks of stuff? Most likely, right? You go, oh, here it is. Or how do I do level 2 next, which is the goal. Our goal isn't to get everyone here to yellow belt. Our goal is to help make everyone have the knowledge that Olympic champions are made. So with that said, I'm going to post a couple links. We are doing the level 2 early bird right now. For those of you that have got level 1, if you want to get the level 2, here's the early bird code and the link. Just type in early bird 2 and you're going to save $50 off the level 2 bundle. We've only got 5 of these to do. We can't do them for everyone. Level 2 will probably be ready towards November, I think, somewhere in there. And for those of you that want all 5 levels, has anyone here purchased all 5 levels yet and done the payment plan? There's a payment plan. You don't got to pay all at once. You can do it monthly. And to do that, we want people to get all in. So we wrote all in 28 is the code. You're going to save $200 off all 5 courses. So if you want to get all 5, you'll get every access to everything we do. So when it's level 2 and we have a special training, you'll get that. When it's level 3, we have a special training, you'll get all the things. So you're on the red carpet VIP. We want to make sure you're in. If you're in early, we're taking care of you and getting you all the knowledge we can do. So I'd love to have everyone here get these level 2 done for me in the all-in bundle there. Final thing, Coach Paul, before we hop here, what last things do they need to know before we get kicking?
Just on the live, the live training you were talking.
Yeah.
At the moment, we're in a general phase of training with the team.
Yep.
We usually train one. I mean, they do a lot of weights and S&C training.
Yes.
In the mornings at the moment. So, but the Taekwondo is usually 1 p.m. till 3 p.m.
Great.
If that helps.
But that helps a lot to let everyone know. Yep. And that's why it's so good in this general phase, is because that's the foundations, a lot of the foundations in level 2 curriculum. Correct.
Yeah. And if you decide a date where you want to do it, roughly that'll be the time. I can give you a plan of what that session would be, so you can understand what Gareth will do with the team at that particular time.
I love it. And I'll leave that up to you guys. Really, we want to make sure that we're getting to take part in the training and do that. But again, their academy training takes priority to that, because when you all get in the academy, we want to make sure you're supported in that. I remember when I was at OTC and we'd have some camps come through and we were like 2 weeks out of a tournament. We're kind of doing fantasy camp with people, and it was important. But the main thing is always the main thing with me. The main thing is this knowledge is to help get athletes better. Why are we going to get better? To win international medals. That helps us get points. Helping you get points helps you auto qualify. Auto qualify means you're in the Olympics, gives you more time to train, less unnecessary tournaments, and you're in a good spot to win. So that's my thinking of how this is all structured and why it's so critical to do the right way. But 1 to 3, let's plan on that. That's a mountain time. I'll type that up, 1 to 3 p.m. MST there. So that's 12 to 2 Pacific, 3 to 5. There'll be some point in October here. And I'll ask Coach Paul just a day that fits really well with the things we're learning. And it'll actually be, I talked to Jose, he's going to be filming it live on Zoom. So you get to follow along and see what it's really like to do this stuff in person. Sounds good? Awesome, you guys. Well, Paul, Logan, appreciate both your times. Paul, thank you for all your insights. Everyone here, if you have questions, we actually have an email now just for this stuff. Let me pull it up. I don't even know what it is offhand. It is, I don't even have it. I will find it. This is the best way to finish, is not knowing what's happening. Right? Here it is. I found it. It is USATKD University at Gmail. And they don't just let anyone get a Gmail address. Okay. Very, very particular. So I got one That's how much I've gone to bat for you all. I've gotten a Gmail address dedicated for this. So if you have questions, that's the best place to drop one, because it doesn't get caught up with events, with board breaking, with every other thing. This is just for the university. Okay. Thank you all. Paul, have a great rest of your week. I know it's
Nice to meet everybody.
And Mackenzie, thanks for being off from Australia. Everyone else, we appreciate you very much. And we are stopped recording.